Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Ben Waldron and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be having an inbox review and we're going to have a bit of armour this time. What we've got up is the Leopard II A7 German main battle tank. Now this is by MENG Models, it's in 1/35 scale, and we have had this let's see if we can get you on camera. Actually, we have got this sort of AK interactive, as you know, gone off and gone. Hey, we found a load of nice matching colours for this as well. Now this kit is around about the £50 mark. It is a big kit. I mean, it's actually quite a big box. It's full of plastic, so although it's £50, I do think it is quite worth it. We've also got a kit that was new tooled in 2015, so it's pretty sort of new. This particular kit, the A7, was reboxed in 2016 and added new parts to it also, and then I did an A7 Plus, I do believe it was, in 2019 with new added parts as well. So you got a couple of versions there. Now what we've got so far, we've got these a nice bunch of photos. We'll look at them in a bit. Now I'm not going to get everything out in this kit because there's loads and loads of bits and bobs on here. I just want to give you an idea of the kind of quality we're looking at. So let's just get out a sprue or two just to start off with. Here we go, we've got one just here. What we've got is actually really sort of rather crisp with these parts. As you can see, we just zoom right in. We've got the I think it's the M3 or something machine gun just here, very crisp, showing off loads and loads of details on these MGs. Right, and it's pretty much the same throughout. I mean, we've got a bit of stowage here and everything, and then we've got all these lots of different parts all in and around and everything, and it's pretty much the same all over with this, you know, same level of standards. Lovely detail going on there. We turn it over, ejector pin marks. I mean, there are ejector pin marks, but I mean, this may look a little bit bad just here, but this is going to be on the inside. We're not going to see it. We've only got to cut them off, no problems at all. Again, same thing here, cut them off. We're not going to see it, not a big problem whatsoever. Again, back to the MGs, we've got no nasty ejector pin marks where you wouldn't want them on the detail and everything. So they're looking rather good. Let's jump into the main attraction, shall we say. We've got our actual turrets just here, and this is where we see all the lovely detail and what kind of a lovely quality we have. As you can see, we've got all this nice textured surface on here. If we sort of zoom you in a bit closer, you know, we do have all the nuts and bolts and everything where you can see them. Absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, and you know, it is so crisp as well. Very tidy. Looking around the side, you know, the detail's still there. It does look like we've had like bits sort of cut out in the turret area, but that's not going to be a problem at all. Yes, we do have ejector pin marks on the inside. Again, they're sticking out quite a bit, right? But again, we're not going to see them. We can cut them off, no biggie, shouldn't hinder anything at all. The bottom hull, again, you know, the same level of surface detail. As you can see, absolutely stunning. Washes and weathering and everything is going to absolutely look gorgeous on this and come out really nice, as you can see. Very small tiny bits of detail, absolutely lovely. I am actually really loving the level of quality with this kit. The bottom part of the hull, you know, we've got loads of detail on the bottom part of the hull, as you can see, with all our running road wheels and all the bits and bobs and all this gorgeous stuff going on inside there. Right, even on the bottom, you know, we've got the detail on the bottom side of this as well. Absolutely stunning, absolutely love it. Can't really fault that so far. Hold on, we've got lots and lots of stuff. Next up, we do have a massive bag full of our tracks. Now, love them or hate them, I do prefer my tracks to be like this, right? And there's like loads and loads of sprues exactly the same, so I'll just show you the one. But these are all our rubber sort of track links. Well, not, well, they do. Well, they're plastic actually. They're not rubber. But here we are, track links. Right, there's two different. There's 3 different parts to building these. Right, so you start off with this part. This is like the inner part, and then we've got the bottom and the top part, and we sandwich these inner parts in, and you basically end up with this moving sort of system. And as you can see, you know, no nasty ejector pin marks on them. They're all very crisp, hardly any flash. We do have a bit of an ejector pin mark on the inside. I'm just feeling to see if they're like sticky outy ones, because if they're sticky outy ones, you've got to sand them all down. If they're just like recessed, that shouldn't be a big deal. There might, yeah, you might have to do a little bit of you know, sort of a little bit of sanding, because this one here does feel like that's a little bit on the raised side, and that's going to hinder you gluing them together. They're not terrible, not all of them. I've just kind of noticed that one really, but yeah, you might find 1 or 2, so you might have to kind of take care of some ejector pin marks a little bit, because they're raised, and when you try and bring them together, it's going to sort of leave a gap. But then you've got this little tool here where you can put them all in, and you make your track links and everything. I'll show you in the instructions in a bit. But rather cool. I prefer these because when you do every single individual track link, you can really just have your tracks waving in any way you want them, which is why I personally like them. Then, as I say, we've got loads and loads of bags. We've got all sorts of running road wheels just inside here. I don't want to get them all out because you've seen the level of surface detail, and it goes for all the different parts as well, and all sorts of running road wheels in there. We do have quite a few nice clear parts as well, right, which is rather cool, because it does look like pretty much any sort of peephole that's on this tank is going to have a clear part, so we can sort of have that representative little sort of, you know, windows and stuff on the tank. We've got our road wheels just here, loads and loads of road wheels, you know, same level of lovely detail. We've got, I think this is the added parts where they've kind of got the uprated sort of extra hot armor and stuff on the Leopard there. Right, all nicely looking good, same sort of level of detail from what I can see. Again, I don't want to get them all out and show you, because it makes these inbox reviews just go on and on and on. Again, same sprue here. Okay, it's a different color sprue. I'm not sure why they did that, maybe some other different version or something, but again, we've got the same level of detail going on with that. We've got on this sprue just here, this is like side skirts and a little, the bottom armor or something underneath the main hull, the hull. But again, same level of detail. Actually, on this one we do have the main gun as well, so we'll have a quick look at that also, just to show you. It does come in 2 halves, right, which means you do have to bring them together. Shouldn't be a problem if you do all your standard sort of, like, you know, filling, sanding, scribing. This little bit of an area here does kind of look a bit like some sort of fabric on there, so maybe look a little bit funny, sort of getting this nice and seamless and sanding it nice and seamless, and then you've got this nice flat seamless end, and then it kind of wraps around into this fabric area. Yeah, you might have to throw some techniques in there or something just to give that fabricy type look. But again, as you can see, you know, lovely detail on this kit. I do actually love it, every little bit. That's what I'm liking about MENG right now, is pretty much whatever they produce, you know, it's so crisp, so nicely, highly detailed and everything. It's really, they are really nice models. And then we've got this. When they say they've got photo etch in there, they're not throwing out a little bit of a gimmick of here's a little bit of photo etch, hey, we can advertise this as having photo etch in there. We actually have got a load of goodies in this little bag just here, which may as well get them all out. I do like how we've got proper metal, sort of, you normally sort of get like string or something like that for all your tow ropes and everything, but this one is proper metal, and as you can see, that is going to look really sort of nice and realistic, more realistically looking, and sort of flow and sit better on the model, so that's a nice bonus. We've got these proper stick-on mirrors as well, which is also rather cool, nice added touch. We've got 2 photo etch frets, which not exactly sure what these parts are or anything like that, but as you can see, they do feel like nice and not too thick. They're going to be hard to cut off and actually deal with, but they are looking good. And I think we've got some intake vents here and stuff for the engine. Loads of nice lovely bits of photo etch, which is just going to set it off even more with all the detail that we've already got. Decals, you know, decals are nothing really to to have a dance about with when it comes to armor, because we don't have much, but what we do have, looking at that, does look rather good, nicely in registry. The colors look good. Should be hopefully no problems with that, but there aren't that many, so if they are bad decals, you haven't got that many to deal with. Then we have our markings here, nice bit of colour call outs. What we've got here, nice 3 stages of camo. They're nice to take off the hull here so you can actually see where the camo goes, which is a nice touch, you know, a nice bit of thought going into that. Simple sort of showing you where the decals are going. Then we've got all the colour call outs here, which I do believe, you know, you've got the AK paints that they call out for there, but do your research as always. Right, not too bad, not too shabby. Then the instructions, we do have what looks to be some in black and white, plain coloured paper. Looking through, you know, we do get the usual nice description about the tank itself. A little bit of a sort of a look at it, which is quite interesting actually. They do give you the option of having a gunfire simulator, which is interesting because that is what you put on the tanks for training purposes. I remember you know, loading these up back in the day when I'm training exercise, and it's all about sort of like you got lasers and everything on the gun, and you shoot over tanks, and as you shoot, these gunfire simulators basically pop a load of smoke up into the air just to kind of show that the gun's sort of fired. So it just helps you have that bit of realism of like spotting tanks because of the smoke off the gunfire and everything. So it's quite nice how they've given that added little feature to this build, that you can have them in that way. So yeah, rather cool, nice little touch. I did quite like that. As with all armor, you know, we're starting with the whole road, the running gear and everything, and all that kind of stuff. Admittedly, you look at these instructions and they do kind of maybe look a little bit cluttered and like, ooh, what's going on? But you know, if you look at them and study them, it does look like they are showing you pretty much where everything goes quite nicely. Again, coming back to our running road wheels, sorry, our tracks just here, this is what I was on about, how they go together. Now I know there's a lot to sort of put on here, but we do have this nice template just here, and as you can see, you lay down the bottom parts of the track, then you put in these nice middle pieces, and then you put the top piece on top. Being careful where you sort of glue them, because if you put too much glue in and it oozes out, it's going to sort of lock the tracks in. But if you get the glue just right, you can really have this lovely flowing bit of tracks going on there. And yeah, you know, you put the whole together, it looks pretty simple, showing you where the photo etch and that's going, which again, you know, it doesn't look too clear when you first look at it, but if you look at it, it does sort of show you, oh, that's photo etch and that's not. So you do have to study it, as I say. Putting all your bits and bobs on. The turret looks, you know, pretty sort of standard. I mean, when it comes to building armor, it's not as hard as aircraft, I don't think. It's just a lot of putting all these little boxes on all over it and gear and everything. But it doesn't look like there's going to be many problems, and if you do, you know, as always with armor, you can whack some stowage on there just to hide any imperfections, right? But yeah, there we go, very nice, looking good. Quick run through. Yes, you can have the turret moving obviously, but yeah, looking good. So yeah, for £50, it's not a bad price actually, because you know there is a lot of plastic. It's a pretty new sort of tool with absolutely, you know, pretty damn good surface detail for this kit. Absolutely crisp as anything. Shouldn't be a problem to put together, and you know what, it does look pretty nice and beefy. So definitely a big thumbs up for Ming there. Nice to also see AK getting in on the colours and everything, which is quite nice. I think even Ammo does it with another company or something, but you know, that's probably another discussion anyway before I sort of go off track. But yeah, definitely a big thumbs up, definitely a big recommendation, and I'd love to build this kit actually. I am thinking next step by step, probably something like to do with some sort of armor, but you know, we will see. I'd love to build it in all honesty, and if you brought it, I'm sure you'd love to build it as well. So yep, until next time, my name is Bobby Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed.